This is amazing, being able to bring South Africa to the Cannes Film Festival. Just tell us the rationale behind that. What is your strategy in making sure that you are able to give exposure to local film?
Our global positioning strategy as the NFVF is very much informed, first of all, obviously, by our mandate as an agency that we are mandated to promote the film industry locally as well as internationally. But we go beyond, obviously, that. We need to look at exactly how are we doing that. And this year in particular, we are focusing on BRICS countries as well as the other countries in the continent of Africa, because we are saying we want to open up the markets for South African film industry. We want to make sure that people find partners, the industry finds partners to make films with each other.
Well, I'm here in my capacity as a Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry in South Africa, bringing about a delegation of 20 emerging filmmakers to look for new opportunities, because we've seen a massive growth of the film industry in South Africa, so we are exploring now international markets. That's why we're here.
First and foremost, we want to make sure that we can pursue treaties with BRICS countries, because once we have the treaties, then that unlocks other opportunities. So starting with Brazil, we've been working very hard in terms of securing a treaty with Brazil, and it's been in negotiations. We finalized the drafting, and what happened here at Cannes this year was that we were able to finally confirm a date that our Minister of Arts and Culture as well as the Minister of Brazil is going to be signing the treaty finally in July. We do have memorandums of understanding with some of those of other African countries, and that's what we've been able to do, that even though there was no treaties in place, but the MOUs that we have in place, we've been able to stimulate activity with those. Like Kenya, we've got an MOU. We're in the process now of signing an MOU with Nigeria, and so I think we are quite confident that something will come out of that. Ivory Coast as well. I mean, we are going to be attending DISCOP, which is taking place in Ivory Coast, and there's a keen interest from the ministry there to solidify our relationships.
When government made a call on the importance of this particular industry, we realized that we needed some support measures. You remember that in 2009, government pronounced that cultural industries are golden economies, so they must be supported. So from there, we created a number of support measures, including the incentives. But we have gone further, because initially it was quite difficult for emerging filmmakers to access our incentives. So last year, we then created a black film support mechanism, which has seen a number of black companies benefiting, and we've seen our own local talent, because lots of our guys are already getting into production of these films, so they're here for a number of reasons.
Just from a budget perspective, like any business, you have to make sure that you earmark X amount of money. How much has been allocated for the coming year, and have you seen return on your investment?
We have, firstly, I think it's important for us to look at how do we measure, the return on investment. And first and foremost for us, we measure that return by ensuring that we utilize the resources, firstly, for purposes for which we have been mandated. So we need to make sure that our activities are aligned to the strategic objectives of the organizations. Our activities are aligned to the mandate in terms of the NFVF Act. And if we do that, we have the confidence that, you know what, we're utilizing the resources responsibly.
So if I'm a producer and I'm looking at you and I think this is a great organization, just in terms of to quantify the amount, speaking to the DTI, they said that they're earmarking about 300 million. From your side, what is the figure that we're looking at?
Well, the figure that we are looking at, and hence maybe you will notice that I'm hesitant to indicate the figure, because we are an organization that is small in terms of budget. Our total budget is just around 120 million per year, but our role and our influence and our ability to open doors and enable the market goes far beyond the actual rand that we are able to put in the project. So we may not be able to put in 80% of the project in the production, but at least the 10% that NFVF is able to put on the project unlocks other funding.